What's good, internet? Jake here, dumb as ever, and I love Japanese superheroes. Ultraman, Kamen Rider, and the original show that Power Rangers is based on, Super Sentai. I love them all. Speaking of Super Sentai, it just went on permanent hiatus, which is a result of apparently poor toy sales. So Toei, the company that makes Super Sentai, is giving the show a rest, and trying out some new ideas instead, which is why this year we have Super Space Sheriff Gavan Infinity, which is a total reimagining of an old 80s show, which was also about a space detective called Gavan, which is a title, not his actual name. In the new show, we follow Gavan Infinity, who is a hero that travels to other universes to stop villains that use Emorgears, which are little battery guys filled with Emorgears, a powerful energy source based on emotions. Our hero is Reiji Doki, and he uses the Rage Emorgears to transform into Gavan Infinity. There is only one Gavan in each universe, so when Reiji travels the multiverse, he runs into different Gavans in each one. For example, we have Gavan Bushido, who is an honorable but mega depressed guy, and it turns out he's an android that was made for war. He low-key reminds me of Rattleballs from Adventure Time. And there's also Gavan Luminous, who is a super smart scientist with a joyous personality. She works with her more serious partner Coco to protect their world. To transform into Gavan, all of the heroes use the Gavarion Trigger, a blaster that can turn the energy of the Emorgears into super advanced armor. And they also have a spaceship that can transform into a giant robot, which can be equipped with special weapons. This show is really interesting to me because there are some obvious budget cuts compared to Super Sentai. Instead of unique weekly monsters, there are human villains who use Emorgears to summon Emons, which are monsters based on negative energy. The Emons have all used the same suit so far, and the different villains' goons are just guys in themed costumes, rather than special goons with their own monster costumes. It's pretty interesting, and I've been having a great time with the show. But of course, the most important part of any new tokusatsu show is the toys, at least for a fellow like me. I've been dying to play with the Gavarion Trigger, and thanks to today's sponsor, JP Fans, we're doing just that. JP Fans is an awesome website that lets you order items from Japanese online retailers, like Mercari, Amazon, and Yahoo. When you order an item from one of the sites, it'll be sent to the JP Fans warehouse, where they'll send you QC photos and neatly package your items together. You can keep your items waiting in the warehouse for up to 30 days. And when you're ready, you just pay the shipping fee to get your collectibles. It's a great system, and having done a few sponsored videos now, I can tell you it's a very streamlined experience. The best part of using JP Fans is that you can find great deals. I love using Mercari. It's where I found all of the toys we're going to be talking about in today's video. And you can easily find great deals on old Kamen Rider and Super Sentai toys. If you're interested in getting some awesome Japanese collectibles, you can sign up using my affiliate link below, and you'll get a bunch of extra coupons as well as access to my very own discount. Just go to the coupons page and click redeem coupon, and type in dumbjake to get a 20% shipping discount. Thank you to JP Fans for sponsoring the channel, and let's jump right into the unboxing. Alright, here's our JP Fans box once again. Goldfish for scale. I got the bigger goldfish this time. Can you guys tell I like goldfish? Amazing packaging, nice and safe, all the way from Japan. I got this on Mercari. Basically, like all the Wave 1 stuff for the show, including this amazing set, which comes with the Gavarion Trigger, as well as a bunch of extra Emorgears. We also have these Emorgear sets. So we have the DX Emorgear set 2, the DX Emorgear set 3. Oh, okay, so I don't have set 1, but that's fine. We also have the Gavarion Drill, the DX Gavarion Drill, as well as the DX Gavarion Saber. So I'm gonna open these up, take a look at all of them, and basically just talk about them. So like I said, this whole package is one bundle I got from Mercari. The seller opened the Gavarion Trigger to mess around with it, I guess, and then decided to sell all the stuff they bought. This Gavarion Trigger came in the special Narikiri set, which means it came with the base toys as well as 5 extra Emorgears, including a special one you can only get with this set. I want to take a look at the Emorgears first, because as a well-known little guy enthusiast, they were easily the toys I was most excited to mess with in this package. Emorgears look like little batteries, and have a spinning mechanism so when you click the button on the top, the face will switch. What I didn't realize is that Emorgears have two different types. There are the main Emorgears, which are used for transformation by the heroes. They have the button switching gimmick, which has a very satisfying click. These Emorgears have three different faces: the caged mode, their normal face, and an overcharged mode. But there are more simple Emorgears with just two faces: their caged mode and their weird little face. This was a disappointing revelation for me, because the main Emorgears are super fun clicky fidget toys, but these truncated ones are pretty lame by comparison, and they're not nearly as satisfying to play with. Much like the show itself, this toy line is obviously cutting a few corners, and while I didn't mind it in the media, it is pretty disappointing to see in the toys. Despite all that, I still think these are really cute toys. I like all of the expressive faces they have. They definitely seem inspired by Kamen Rider Gav's Gochizos, which were super popular gimmick toys. So it seems like Toei is trying to recreate that success with the Emorgears, though I don't know if that's really happening for them. One thing I need to mention is that they gave all of the Emorgears butt cheeks. This hasn't really been brought up in the show, but I'm assuming they are cheeked up just to make 6-year-olds and myself laugh. Along with the Emorgears that came with the Gavarion Trigger, I also got 2 of the Emorgear sets, which come with even more of these little battery guys. Sadly, they're all the twist versions though. Okay, now we need to talk about the main event, the Gavarion Trigger itself. Similar to how Emorgears are copying the Gochizos, the Gavarion Trigger has the same play pattern as the last season of Super Sentai, where the Morpher transformed into the main robot of the show. People are really mixed over the Gavarion Trigger, and I think for good reason. As a blaster, it's very chunky and awkward looking, and as a robot, the colors are fairly muted and bland. But I don't know, man, I prefer it to Tegasword. I like Tegasword, don't get me wrong, and the sword hand mode is definitely unique, but I much prefer the blaster, and the way the gimmick toys interact is much more fun to me. While Tegasword had Sentai rings, the Gavarion Trigger has the Emorgears, which are just more fun to me by default, and their interactions with the trigger are also much more satisfying. Also, as an adult, Tegasword's weapon mode didn't really fit my hand, while the Gavarion Trigger is much more comfortable to hold. This is all just for comparison though. I think both toys are fun, and this is a two cake situation for the most part. Now, since the Gavarion Trigger is a roleplay toy, let's get into the lights and sounds. Once you switch the blaster on, it will make this noise and the side panel lights will flash. Pressing the trigger will cause generic blasting noises. To activate the Emorgear sounds, you simply open the side panel of the blaster and plug the Emorgear into the open slot. I always plug them in with the face revealed like in the show, but you don't have to do that. It will work regardless of what face is revealed. When you insert the Emorgear, it will make this noise. The standby noise is admittedly annoying to me. It sounds like a car alarm or something. Pressing the trigger will activate the transformation. The transformation announcement is really long and wordy. This is because in the show, when Gavan transforms, it's instantaneous, but then the announcer explains the transformation process to you step by step, giving you the full transformation sequence that the human eye can't comprehend. This is a reference to the original show that did the same thing, and I find the whole sequence wildly charming and fun. If you don't want to hear the whole spiel, you can press the trigger one more time to jump ahead to the end. Once the transformation is complete, you can press the trigger again to hear new blaster noises. Each Emorgear makes unique attack noises, and with the main transformation Emorgears, you can click the top one more time to trigger an emotional burst, which is a powerful attack. The non-transformation Emorgears are only emotional bursts. But I will give them credit, they all say their own names, and there seems to be a unique little noise for each one. Now, the Gavarion Trigger actually has 3 modes: the blaster mode, a robot mode, and a spaceship mode. To transform it into the spaceship, you flip it upside down and flip out these little wings. That's literally it. I'd say this is easily the laziest and most uninteresting mode, though it's somewhat enhanced by the other toys we'll get to later. Transformation to robot isn't very complicated either. You unplug the arms from the top and bottom, flip out the legs, and twist the waist. And boom, you have a headless robot body. While you can plug in normal Emorgears into the body, the toy will just think it's in blaster mode and make those noises. The robot mode has a special head, which is also an Emorgear, but it looks like a little rocket ship. When you plug it in, it will make a standby noise, and transforming the head will activate the transformation noise. This robot is called Cosmo Gavarion GCR, and it's the default robot used by Gavan Infinity. Once activated, his chest light will remain glowing for a little while, but it eventually turns off. He's a bit awkward looking, with very long legs and stubby arms, though the blaster attached to his left arm makes it seem weirdly long in comparison. The blaster arm can rotate at the shoulder as well as the wrist. The right arm can rotate at the shoulder and move outward by a few clicks, and the legs don't move at all. So pretty much your standard Super Sentai style brick robot. As awkward as he is, I do find Cosmo Gavarion GCR to be charming. I really like the metallic orange face and light blue eyes. Clicking the trigger will make a blaster noise, while holding the trigger will activate an emotional burst attack. Overall, I really like the robot mode, and I should note he's both taller and wider than Sword, which is a nice upgrade from last year. Now that we've discussed the main robot, we can discuss the DX Gavarion weapons, which are upgrades for the Gavarion Trigger, as well as weapons in their own right. First we have the Gavarion Saber, which is a very simple purple dagger, with a short handle and blade. Remember, this is made for kids, so these toys can't actually be too big or dangerous. Still, it's an awkward looking little dagger. It can transform into unit mode by holding the side button and flipping the handle in. You then insert the special Emorgear, which will make the wings flip out. Twisting the Emorgear will cause the ship's nose to pop forward a little bit more. And now you have a little purple space jet, which is fun and very swooshable. You can also combine it with Cosmo Gavarion, which makes the spaceship mode like 10% more interesting, though it looks a bit silly with Saber being upside down. You can also hold it in Gavarion Trigger form, which gives it this bayonet look, though this is not an official form from the show. The real fun is the robot mode combination. You slot the Saber into Cosmo Gavarion's right arm, and once again plugging the Emorgear in will cause standby music until the head is transformed. this mode is called Cosmo Gavarion 10Q, and it's kinda cool. I think the sword arm is fun. It's a bit too long, but the robot can hold the weight of the blade. The robot head is cool, I like how pointy it is. Pressing the trigger will activate a sword noise, and holding the trigger will activate the emotional burst. Overall, a neat upgrade, but I do consider Saber to be the weaker of the two weapons. The other weapon I got was the Gavarion Drill, which as you might expect, is a drill sort of weapon. The handle is very small, so I can't really hold it naturally. Rotating the treads will transform the weapon into a drilling vehicle, which can be operated by the included Emorgear. Rolling the vehicle along the ground will cause the drill to spin, which is fun and it can spin very nicely. Twisting the Emorgear will cause the drill to push forward, and you can spin the little guy all the way around. Like Saber, it can combine with Cosmo Gavarion, which looks a lot better than Saber's combination to me. It just looks more like a complete spaceship, and it looks very cool when you hold it in trigger mode. It looks way cooler than the standard drill weapon mode anyway. To combine it with robot mode, you hook the drill onto the right arm, and there is an extra piece you take off of the drill and attach to the chest. Just like the other modes, you plug in the Emorgear and transform it to activate the robot. This is Cosmo Gavarion WK2, and he's by far the best looking of the robots. The extra chest plate goes a long way to make it look more complete, and this mode has the coolest robot mode head to me. I love the fractured red eyes and the blue mouth plate. As expected, clicking the trigger once will cause a drill noise, while holding it causes an emotional burst. As much as I like this mode, a big issue is that he cannot hold his drill arm up. The drill is just way too heavy, and the ratchet joint is pretty weak for some reason. It might just be my copy, but that's been my experience. Overall, the line so far kinda feels like a mixed bag. I love a lot of the elements they're putting into the series, but I also feel like some aspects are being half-assed. The Gavarion Trigger is fun, the Emorgears are cute but kind of disappointing, and the DX weapons leave a lot to be desired. So what do I actually think about Gavan Infinity? I think it's a really fun show with some great acting and action, but the toy line is kind of in a gray area for me right now. I think one awesome upgrade for the Gavarion Trigger would be a game changer, but as of right now, I totally understand someone not being into this toy line. And keep in mind, I got these toys for free, so my review is always going to have a bit of bias involved, because I didn't really lose out on anything by getting these toys. Still, if you're interested, please consider using JP Fans. And don't forget to redeem my coupon code dumbjake for 20% off shipping. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. And if you'd like to support me further, I have a YouTube membership and Patreon. For $1 a month, both give you the same thing. Access to my members only podcast where I interview other creators, and you also get an invite to my super chill Discord server. We watch tokusatsu shows every Sunday night, so if that interests you, join up and hop in. Alright y'all, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.